Okay, this Steelers quarterback stuff has officially gone off the rails. Also, we know fans don't want Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh, but to some actual Steeler players have a different tune. All that and more. Big Deke news. Now it's apparently Daniel Jones to Pittsburgh. Steelers are interested in Daniel Jones. Come on, bro. It's gone too far. The Steelers quarterback stuff, it's gone too far this offseason. It's officially hit that point. I can't do it anymore. I can't. I can't, man. What's next? Jameis Winston to the Steelers? Oh, wait.
Man, I love Pittsburgh, so that is definitely aligned with my vision.
And don't blame me for starting the show off like this. Don't blame me. Even though I'm saying this is a joke, this is ridiculous. Big dog's got to eat. I got to work. I got to make a living out here. And if someone that's in the know, that's supposed to have the inside track on Steelers information, says Pittsburgh and Daniel Jones are linked, like, I got to react to it. And this is my reaction. Like, you're seeing my reaction in real time right now. Like, it's a joke. But I got to eat. Got to talk about it. If Daniel Jones is a Steelers quarterback next year, I don't know. I truly don't know. I don't know. If he's the starting quarterback, let's clarify. If he's the starting quarterback, I don't know. I will be speechless. Now, the way that Daniel Jones could be a Pittsburgh Steeler as a backup, I'm completely fine with that. Daniel Jones as a backup makes a ton of sense. We signed Fields for the $10 or $15 million contract, whatever we've been talking about, that range. Wouldn't hurt to have a quality backup behind him. Daniel Jones. I'll be honest though. I was gonna say maybe you sign Daniel Jones to like $10 million or something like that, but he might be getting more than $10 million. That's the sad truth of the matter. Gardner Minshew, what did he get with the Raiders last year? Sam Darnold got 1 year for $10 million. Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, okay, they're kind of in the same boat. Daniel Jones, if anything, at this point this year versus that point last year with Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones probably more proven. So he might be getting a Justin Fields type of deal. Honestly, no, that's crazy. No, there's no way. There's no way that's possible. So then you gotta wonder what's Fields' actual market? Is it more than 10 to 15 million? Could it be upwards? Could it be closer to 20? But yeah, I think on paper it makes sense to have Daniel Jones as a backup. On paper, what I mean is from a depth chart standpoint. On paper, from a money standpoint, it's not adding up to me, actually. If let's just say $10 million is Daniel Jones' market value, just off the top of my head. I don't know what it is on Spot Rack or anything like that. I don't know what the media people are discussing with Daniel Jones' contract, but let's just say $10 million. Make it easy. Let's spend that $10 million on a cornerback. Let's spend that $10 million on a defensive tackle. Let's spend that $10 million. You could get 2 quality running backs for $10 million. You could get a J.K. Dobbins. I mean, hell, you could bring back Najee Harris. I know there's a lot of people that want Najee back, but I mean, you could do Najee Harris, and then you could, you could do a lot with $10 million. So I'd rather do that than spend it on a backup quarterback. I think you just go all in. If Fields is your quarterback, you go all in on Fields. Because if he gets hurt, you say your season's short. Although, if Fields got hurt, oh my God, I don't even know. I was going to say, like, am I really starting to talk myself into a Danny Dimes as a backup quarterback redemption story if Fields got hurt and Danny Dimes had to come in and he'd save the season? Like, that's where we're at. That's where we're at right now. That's what these type of rumors, that's what these type of reports can do to you. You start going down that rabbit hole. Let's just move on. Just thought of this, though, real quick. Quarterback is the most important position, so investing a little extra there wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing either. to have a guy that could push Justin Fields, could make things a little bit more uncomfortable for Justin Fields, as opposed to having a guy that's perennially a backup back there. And Fields knows there's no competition. There's no chance at all that backup is ever going to take his starting spot throughout the course of the year. Having a Daniel Jones there to push Fields wouldn't be the worst thing either, because, I mean, in a way, they're in similar positions, very similar positions, Justin Fields and Daniel Jones. Now, I do think Justin Fields is the more dynamic player, has the better talent, has played better more recently. But, I mean, both early draft picks in the first round have the talent, just haven't been able to put it all together with their previous spots with the teams that drafted them. And now they're in this limbo type of situation where they're trying to have second waves to their careers. But again, going back to like who's going to get more this offseason, who's probably viewed more highly, it's Justin Fields over Daniel Jones. But if Daniel Jones is our starter, we got problems. Daniel Jones is the backup? Sure, you could talk me into it. I'd be fine with that. But sticking with quarterback, I know none of the fans want Aaron Rodgers here. But you got the Steelers' top receiver talking about Rodgers in a very different light. This video popped up on Twitter recently, and here's what George Pickens had to say about potentially playing with Aaron Rodgers.
My dream teammate probably be Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers or like Ed Reed or something like that.
You don't say. Pickens and Rodgers. Everyone's been concerned about if we brought in Rodgers, what would that dynamic between him and Pickens look like? Because we know Rodgers brings the drama wherever he goes, and we know what Pickens has been like his first 3 years here in a Steeler uniform. So like, oh man, would things be going crazy? I don't know. Maybe it would be the perfect match. And then, you know, that whole DeShon, Elliott, Aaron Rodgers beef where there was that post on Instagram talking about Aaron Rodgers potentially joining the Steelers, and DeShon Elliott responded to it. He said, keep his ass in retirement, leave his ass in the retirement home, something like that. And we thought, oh, that's kind of like a bad sign for Rodgers being in Pittsburgh. Some of the top Steeler players, like DeShon Elliott, doesn't want him here at all. But then I just saw this on the internet. Aaron Rodgers and DeShon Elliott together training, taking a picture. Seems like they're having a good time. It seems like there's no beef at all. If you read the caption there, the caption says who's retiring first. And if anything, Rodgers is pointing to DeShon Elliott in the picture. Rodgers is saying, no, it's going to be DeShon Elliott. I'm here. So maybe there's more to that relationship, Rodgers and Elliott, than what we know, because they used to play each other back with the NFC North when Elliott was on the Lions, Rodgers was on the Packers. So who knows? Maybe Elliott was trolling from the start. All of us took it as serious, and like there was real beef, but maybe he's friends with Rodgers behind the scenes. They train together, whatever it is, and he just threw that out there as a troll, as a joke. So maybe Rodgers to the Steelers, not as catastrophic of a scenario as people are leading on when it comes to drama and Rodgers being a locker room issue or a bad teammate or anything like that. At least based off this new information that we just gathered here. And I'm telling you guys, bro, I know, again, a lot of you guys don't want Rodgers, but after Fields, I'm assuming a lot of you guys that don't want Rodgers, you're probably saying Fields, right? Fields is your number one option. So after Fields, though, what are we talking about? What do you guys want to do after Fields? And we've been looking at some of these reports. We've been looking at some of this stuff about the Steelers potentially being stubborn on their number with Fields, and Fields is going to be interested in going to another team. If so, like we're going to maybe have to have an option B or an option C here. And from what we're gathering, unfortunately, the Steelers' option B is Russell Wilson, but like it should be Rodgers. How is Rodgers not the best number two option? And again, depending on the day, maybe you could argue he should be the number one. But how is he not the best number two option after Justin Fields? What are you going to? Are you going to trade the house? Are you going to trade some draft picks and take on Stafford's $40 million contract? When, again, if you look at the stats between Stafford and Rodgers last year, really not much difference. I know Stafford was the better player, but still, Rodgers you get for a lot cheaper. Rodgers, the better all-time player. Stafford, yeah, had a better season last year. But who's to say Rodgers can't get back to that form another year removed from the Achilles, being motivated, et cetera, et cetera. I've talked about that, right? I brought up Derek Carr. I mean, we talk about Russ, Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold. How is there a better number 2 option than Aaron Rodgers? Like, I really think the mentality should be it's either Fields or Rodgers at this point. Maybe trading for Stafford as well. I mean, depending on what you got to give up. Again, you got to take on that contract, but it is Matt Stafford, so I'd be fine with that as well. I think that Fields and Rodgers, those are the best 2 options. And I've talked about with Fields how we'll get our answer at the end of the season, right? We'll get our answer one way or another. Do we extend Fields? He becomes the guy for the foreseeable future. I think it's actually kind of the same way with Rodgers too. With Stafford, you could do the package deal with him and Cooper Kupp, but you could also do that with Rodgers, him and Devontae Adams. And we've been talking about trying to get one of those elite receivers across from Pickens. T. Higgins, yeah, he's going to be a free agent. Or no, they're going to franchise tag him. So that's probably more than likely out the window. Bengals aren't going to be trading us T. Higgins. So if you brought in Rodgers, you did the Rodgers, Devontae Adams tandem type of thing, and it don't work, it's one and done. You reset, and yeah, 2026, we're on to new pastures. All the other ones, though, I could see ourselves being in this weird limbo where you're wondering about re-signing the quarterback. Like, I don't know if you're going to get definitive answers with Stafford, with Russ, with Derek Carr, Kirk, all these, come on, all these other quarterback options. That's why, again, I think Fields Rodgers. I've been talking about Fields, how you're going to get your answer one way or another, and that's what we need. But you're kind of going to get that with Rodgers, too. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this edition. Big Deke News. Stay chilling. Peace.